Hello and welcome back. I hope you're all managing to keep safe and well in this time where we're all kind of quarantined or not allowed to go out. So I thought I'd do a different kind of video. Over the years I've been asked about the equipment that I use to do my vlogs. So I thought I'd do a short video, well maybe short, about what kind of gear I use and how I go about making my vlogs. Now, when I started out vlogging, as a lot of you know who watch the channel quite a lot, it was done as a bet, and I had no intentions of, or I had no idea of how the channel was going to go or how it was going to progress. So all I started off with was an iPhone. They're a really good camera on these. This is a 6S, but I actually started off with a 5S that I had at the time, and for the first year of doing the vlogs, this is all I used. I just used an iPhone, and it did, you know, it did the job. It did really well. But after about a year, I found that it just started to, the battery was wearing down on it and everything. So I decided to change. In terms of a microphone for this, I used what I've got now, which is just a, you can see here, it's just a lav mic, a lapel mic that I used. I've actually gone through 3 of these. This is the 3rd one I've got. It seems to be okay, and that's all I use. It just plugs into obviously the bottom of the iPhone. The newer iPhones, you're going to need the adapter because it's got the lightning cable. And then all I used to do with the camera is put it onto a mount like this that just fitted onto a tripod. Had a cheap old tripod, so the camera just fits on like so, and then put your microphone in and away you go filming. And I still know quite a lot of vloggers that still just use that method really, and it works really well. I changed the microphone after quite a while. I bought this, which is the Rode Video Micro, and that isn't actually the right lead for an iPhone, and there are a couple of different leads. This is a different one. So obviously what I did with that is plug that in there, and this here, this mount, bottom end of it mounts on a tripod, and the top there, you can just, it's got a cold shoe on the top, just fit that on. And that's how I used to do quite a lot of my vlogs originally at first. It's a good microphone, this one. You know, a lot of vloggers use those and rate them. It's a directional microphone. It's got this, what they call a dead cat on it, which comes off. It comes off and it reveals the microphone, but it's a directional microphone. It works really well. It's good in the, obviously, the bad winds. But yeah, that's what I used. So after about a year of doing vlogs, I decided to change my camera because the phone was dying and the battery was going. I looked around and I looked at lots of different cameras, and I looked at DSLR at first, and I looked at GoPro, and I came back to GoPro. I got myself a Hero 6 Black. It's quite a compact camera. I have done a review when I first got this. I'll put a link to that up there. But this is fantastic. It's my main go-to camera if I'm ever going out anywhere, if we're on holiday, or you know, we're just walking around different places that we go to. I always take this because it's quite compact, and it does the job basically. You know, like if you're going around with a DSLR, it's quite big and quite bulky, but this is what I normally use. So for the GoPro, I have this Ulanzi case. And then this GoPro fits into the bottom of there, into there. Underneath here you'll see that I've got the adapter for the GoPro, because you can't plug a mic directly into this. There's a piece that fits on the back of here to secure it in, and then this adapter fits into the side of the GoPro. And then I use this mic, it's called Saramonic or something like that, and it plugs into the side, into the GoPro adapter, and it kind of turns around anywhere. It's quite handy, and it's got a cover on it to stop the wind, so you can just move it around. If you like voicing forward, you can talk into the back of the microphone, or if you want to talk to there, you can use that. And I also use my lav mic in there, and you can also put the bigger microphone on there if you wish to do so. But when I'm going out anywhere, that's what I take with me. I've got this this grip handle here, and this kind of extends as well, obviously so you can get your far away shots or whatever. But that's my go-to camera. That's the camera that I used, I would say, probably 70% of the time when we're out. It's just dead easy to kind of walk around and carry around. So yeah, GoPro Hero 6 that I use there. If you're a student or you work in a school like myself, you can actually get a discount on the GoPros. If you go onto uni days and get yourself an account, I think it's about a 10% discount, so it's well worth it. If you're thinking of vlogging and you want to change your camera, have a look at the GoPros and you can get, like say, uni days and you get a 10% discount. Another bit of gear that I use is this Hohem gimbal. If we're out and about and walking around towns, I use this. It's quite good. I'll just power it up for you. And what that enables us to do, you can see, probably see there the camera that I'm using. I'll show you that in a bit. But what that does, it enables you to move around and not get the jumping around as you're kind of moving around. It keeps the camera in one position. It's also got a remote for this, so you can set it to move around. But this is quite good for even walking around a town or walking around a site and just want to do a little bit of footage to put a bit of music over the top. But I use this gimbal. It was quite cheap actually. I think it was about I got an offer and I think it was about £85 for the gimbal. Well, that's quite a good piece of kit that I do use now and again. Well, I use it quite a lot really for, you know, stabilisation. The camera has got stabilisation in the GoPro, but this just kind of makes it that little bit smoother as you're going around and looking at things, which is quite handy. It's got quite a few different settings on it. You can have it to pan and follow, or you can have it to you can actually, there's a joystick on the back of this, so you can actually move it up and down, whatever you want to do, side to side, and then you can reposition it and it kind of centers itself. It's got a really good battery life in it, and it's got a USB connection on the side. You can actually use that as a power bank to charge other things up as well. And it's mounted for a tripod as well, so if you want to put it on a tripod you can do. But yeah, when I'm just kind of walking around the place, that's the camera that I use. It's pretty good. I also purchased one of these. It's just like an LED light. I put that on, you can see that's quite bright. I use that quite when I'm obviously in darker places. I've got a longer Smatree stick which extends out, which is quite good for if we're walking around and want to get a far away shot. So the other camera that I use is the one that you're looking at me now, which is a DSLR which I bought at the back end of last year. It's just a little bit better than the GoPro. Well, it's quite a bit better than the GoPro, to be honest with you, and I use it for doing shots where I'm going to be static in one position. A lot of the ones where you see me up at the Caravan and I'm sat down and are done on this, and the ones where I'm obviously sat here at home, and I also use it for quite a lot of still shots as well. So this is the camera here. It's a Nikon D5300. Yeah, it's quite a good camera. It's got everything that you need on it. The only kind of downside I've got with this one is the screen that pops out at the side. The only downside with this is the screen that pops out at the side. Obviously you can move that around wherever you want, but the access to the microphone socket is just here, and it does cover the screen slightly, so that's the only issue I've got with it. But yeah, that's quite a good camera. And obviously I've got the tripod that I use, which is I don't even know what make that is, to be fair. Angela bought it me at Christmas. So that's all the gear that I use for recording. I've got the two cameras, and obviously when I'm back home I do the editing at home. I use an iMac which I got just after Christmas, which is absolutely fantastic for doing this kind of thing, and at the moment I'm working from home, so it's been really good for that. I have a second screen, you can just see that there, which comes in handy. I do need to upgrade that screen. It's quite an old monitor really. The software that I use, I started off using Movie Maker, and then I moved on to Final Cut Pro, but at the moment I'm using DaVinci Resolve, and I've been using that now for quite a few months, and I find it, you know, I think for me it works really well. The features that it's got on DaVinci Resolve are absolutely fantastic. I've not got the full version, I've got the free version that you can get just download off the internet, and it does work really well. And if I was to buy a package, I would probably buy the DaVinci Resolve, because you know, the things that you can do with it are really good. So I'll show you what I've got on my desk, because when I've done a bit of footage, normally sometimes what I might do is do a voiceover on that, so I'll show you what I use for doing those. So this is a microphone I bought quite recently really. It's called the Zing U. So I looked at loads of different microphones, and this one got a really good review. You can pay hundreds and hundreds of pounds for them, but this one, we bought it, it was only about £35, and we've been using it for quite a few, about a month or so now, maybe more, and it works really well. It comes with a microphone, it's got the this shock brace around it, and you get the cover for it, like a pop sock for that. And it came with the arm as well, which here you can see, but that's not, I had to make a few adaptations to that because it just fell apart, to be honest with you, but yeah, it works okay. And Molly uses it as well for recording vocals, so it's quite good for doing that. Now this is a condenser mic, so I've got an XLR into the top of here. So this is the sound module that I use. It's a Behringer, I think it's a Behringer 302, and it's got phantom power on it. Obviously it plugs into the back of the computer, which gives it the power for the condenser mic, and it's got about, I think it's about 5 lines in that, and you can plug headphones into this in order for you to listen to your playback, and that just XLR into the back of the microphone, and that enables you to put the voiceovers on the onto the videos. That was about, I think that was about £30. That I've had that for quite a while, that, because I actually play the drums, and I've got a load of drum mics, and I've got another mixing desk, a bigger mixing desk, but I use this just for recording single tracks. So for anybody who has an iMac, you'll know that the USBs are on the back of it, which can be a little bit of pain because you don't want to keep moving it out. So what I've got is down here, I bought this, which is just an adapter. It plugs into the back, got 3 USBs and 2 card readers, which I put my cards into there, and then they can go directly onto the computer. So to carry all the gear around, I have this Gopro camera bag, which my mum actually gave to me. It's quite handy. It's got lots of different compartments. One at the top there that I keep all my smaller camera gear in. My GoPro fits in there, and the gimbal. This one I use for cables, which fits into there. And this one I have batteries, chargers for my Nikon and the GoPro go in there, and the batteries are in there with the cables. And then this bit at the bottom opens up, and that's where I keep my main camera, light, microphones and some filters, which I tend to use now and again. But that's quite handy to fit everything in. And it is a rucksack with a hard back, so it's quite sturdy, and there's other pockets in here and stuff like that. I have actually lost things in that bag that I've not been able to find. So that's just a quick rundown of the gear that I use. If there's any questions, just put them in the comments below, and I'll try and answer them best I can. I have got links to all the equipment that I use in the description below, apart from the Nikon camera, which I've not put that on yet, but I will put that on at a later date. I think one thing to remember if you're thinking of starting up vlogging, I would suggest doing it. There is a really good community, as I've said before, within the Caravan community, and it is a good hobby. I really do enjoy making the videos, editing them and putting them out. But yeah, I would say give it a go. You don't have to spend a lot of money. You start off, like I said, like I did, with just an iPhone, and then you can move on if you want to. You can spend thousands. I know people who have spent thousands and thousands on it, but I don't particularly want to spend any more money. I think I've spent enough on it now. I just want to enjoy making the videos. So thanks for watching. Take care, look after yourselves, make sure you stay safe, and I will see you soon. Bye bye.